Disclaimer, this is not a tutorial on how to do everything with script modding. This is just telling you how to set up the tools for it and how to get your script mods into the game with said tools. I will not be going over commands and their meanings or how to do things like create your own moves. I might go over stuff like that later in a future video, but I make no promises. Okay, this is part 2 of my BlazBlue Central Fiction modding tutorial series. It's been a while, but I finally made it. Okay, in this video, we're going to be going over character scripts. So what are character scripts, you may be wondering? Character scripts are files that contain almost all data determining gameplay-related mechanics, functions, and other things for a specific playable character. This includes, but is not limited to, frame data, animation order for sprites, move properties like invulnerability, motion and button inputs, damage, stun values, launch height, sound cues, and so much more. You can change a lot of things about how a character works with script modding. You can even add entirely new moves. There are 2 different tools you can use to do script modding with. BBTools, the quirkier but more time-tested tool, or BBScript, the newer but less frequently used tool. They can both accomplish the same things in terms of modding potential for BBCF, but there are some key differences to note. BBTools is used by more people, so if you want to get help from them with script modding, they're likely going to explain things as if you're using that instead of BBScript. BBScript, while ultimately identical in its function to BBTools, still uses different names for its parse commands, so any resources or help you will get will probably require some translation from BBTools terminology to BBScript terminology. However, the favorable trade-off is that BBScript is less prone to the errors BBTools suffers from, and has more commands named. Okay, so now I'm going to be going over how to set up BBTools. This is one of 2 tools you can use to do script modding with. So first of all, the thing you want to do first is to download the Python 2.7.15. And you'll want to download this installer, x86-64 MSI installer, Windows. So once you download that, you're going to get this file. So once you have it, double click on it, click install for all users. Leave it at the default location unless you really need it to be somewhere else. Just make sure to remember where you put it, because we're going to be visiting it later. I recommend adding python.exe to the path, so just pick one of these 2 options. I don't know the difference, but I always just put will be installed on local drive. Hasn't proved to be problematic. Yeah, just do that. And then click next. It's asking me a yes or no question. If I want to allow this app to make changes to your device, just say yes. Just waiting for it to load. Okay. So now that Python's installed, our BBTools still won't work. We need to do one extra little thing to make it functional. So what we need to do is to get the Astor _0.5 7-zip file and extract it with either WinRAR or 7-zip. And we're going to take these 2 folders that come from the download link. I'll have that in the description. And then we're going to be going to our SSD or HDD, whatever you keep all your main files. So like you'd go here to this PC and SSD, and then you'd go where Python27 is. Then you'd go into lib or lib, library, I guess. And then you want to go to site packages. And then once you're inside this folder, just paste the Astor files in here. Astor folders, and then you're done. So just, yeah, you should be good. And now BBTools will be able to work. It has all the resources it needs to function. So yeah, we don't need these anymore because we already copied them into Python27. Now let's unzip Python tools. Okay, so now that we've got it here, we need to parse some files. So how do we do that? First we need to be able to get the files from the game's installation folder. So how do you find that? Go to the game's Steam library page. So go to Steam library, click on it, click on the gear icon, and click on properties. Then click on the Installed Files tab, and then click on Browse. This will take you straight to the installation folder where all the game's files are. So you want to go into Data, and then go to CHAR, short for character. And then this will contain all the files for character sprites and visual effects and whatnot, and hitboxes, and our script files. So let's go get Ragna's script file. I'll leave in a description and probably edit in like a little moment of the picture that shows like what each of these 2-letter abbreviations mean, because they each represent a different character. So I just know that Ragna is RG, so RG represents Ragna's files. So we're gonna get char underscore RG underscore SCR for script and copy that. Okay, so now that we've got that copied, we're gonna want to open that up with a different tool. This one is called GeoArcSys All-in-One Clitool. Download link will be in the description. And it'll look like this. And then you want to click GeoArcSys All-in-One Clitool.7z. Make sure you have like a software like 7-zip or WinRAR to unzip and extract the files from that 7-zip file. So I'm just going to do that right now. Just going to have that Ragna file .pack selected. Have it cut, and gonna paste it inside here. All right, so so the thing about BlazBlue's files are that they're encrypted and compressed. So as is, we can't really edit them or edit them easily, and BBTools will not be able to parse it. So in order to put it in a form that can be parsed, we need to drag and drop this pack file into GeoArcSys All-in-One Clitool -pack.bat. So drag it into here, and it should decompress the files. Put it in a folder with the same name as the pack file. All right, so we've got our folder, and inside are these bin files. So this is what we're going to put into BBTools, and this is how we're going to get this is how we're going to get our scripts. So just take this folder and put it into BBTools. All right, and then we're gonna just drag this out, script RG, and then we're gonna put it into parse BBCF. Uh-oh, looks like it didn't work for some reason. It brought me just to this Py page instead with all the code, but it didn't actually do the code function, right? Or think it's supposed to do. That's okay, that's normal, or if you're like me. Okay, so in order to fix this, you're gonna need to go into the bat file, click edit, and go into your text editor, and you're gonna have to go to wherever you stored Python and Python27 or 2.7, and then look for the python.exe. So this is the directory where python.exe is. So place that directory here, and then put another / and then type in python.exe. See, the reason this didn't work at first is because probably the bat file and the Python files and the tools didn't know which version of Python to use, or wasn't sure where to look to use Python. So make sure you just type that directory where python.exe is in, and then you can close it. And I recommend doing this for rebuild also, because we're going to be using that later too. So Python27, oops, misspelled that. Got an E. Space. Okay, so python27/.exe, python.exe. Okay, so now it should be able to work. So put the bin file in the parse bat, and as you can see here, it's managed to successfully do it, but it says something interesting here. Ast error astral heat underscore versus TA, or VSTA. Okay, so remember that. Remember this term after Astor, because we need to fix that later. Because basically what it means is that it didn't parse completely correctly. And that's one of the quirks of BBTools. Even though it's the more often used tool, it makes a lot more errors in its assumptions of how to parse files. So you're going to need to like manually fix some of the stuff it messes up sometimes. But anyways, yeah, remember astroheat underscore VSTA. So now we're going after you parse it, it's going to produce a .py file. And you just want to open that with your editing text editor of choice. I personally like Notepad++. So just open that up here. And looky, here's all the data and stuff put into like relatively readable format. You know, it's easier than like reading like hex code, you know, which is the old-fashioned way for some people. Thankfully, I was never around for that era. So basically, this is where all the data for moves and frame data and move properties and whatnot, this is where it's all stored at. I know this is a lot. This is very overwhelming about what you can change and what does unknown 11097 mean? What does the 150 mean? It's a lot. Admittedly, it's a lot. You don't have to know everything at once. Just start with simple changes. Okay, so for now, just to demonstrate a point, I'm gonna go ahead and change, how about jump Y velocity? No, not jump Y velocity. Actually, you know what? Yeah, let's change that. So instead of 34,000, let's change it to like 100,000, right? That ought to make Ragnar jump like super unnaturally high, right? So that's a simple change. So just change the numbers here and save that. Some of the terms speak for themselves about what they do. Like health obviously represents health points. Walk F speed means forward speed, and walk B speed means walk backward speed and stuff. Some of these are obvious in what they change in effect. And other ones you have like unknown 12024, and that's where it gets a little more ambiguous, and you're going to need to consult the command table Google Sheets for that. And sometimes the unknowns don't even have that aren't even listed in the command table. And for that, you're just going to have to experiment yourself and see what it does by removing it or changing the place it's at in the script or changing the numbers to random stuff. And so you can eventually see in game what it changes. But let's not worry about that right now. So yeah, we changed the jump height, or the jump velocity rather. So now let's just close this. And now that we've made our change, we're going to want to rebuild it. So take the py file and put it into rebuild bbcf.dat. Oh, right. Sorry. We're not quite done yet. I had to fix the AST error that I mentioned earlier. I forgot to do that. My bad. Right. So remember, it was astral heat, right? VSTA, right? Underscore VSTA. That's not the place where it messed up. Seems like all the indentation's correct here. All right, here it is. All right, so astral heat VSTA. Oftentimes, AST errors are the result of indentation or like spacing errors, because the thing about BBTools is that a lot of its like logic and functions about how to read commands is based on how the commands are spaced or indented and stuff. It's not just like the words or the commands like typing itself. It's like how they're spaced together that matters. So let's just scroll all the way to the bottom and see, this is our culprit. End state is like not following the indentation of the rest of the code. So make sure just to, I'm just going to press tab here, and now if end state lines up with the rest of the code. So yeah, because of the end state being like all the way back to the left there, it didn't read as like a complete state, I assume. So just save that, and now the file should properly rebuild. There we go, complete. So we've got a Ragnar file. And now let's just place our modded Ragna binary file, or bin file, into the folder again. And to turn this folder back into a pack file, we're going to go back to GeoArcSys all-in-one CLITool. Let's see, how do I do that? Where did I put it again? Let me just cut this and paste it somewhere else. Here we go, GeoArcSys batch folder. This is where all the batch files are. And then let's paste our folder again. This is where our modded script files are. And then let's place it, drag and drop it back into the pack bat. Actually, wait, let's, okay, so this is our unmodded pack, right? So let's just name it something like original, just so we have like a backup and we don't like erase the ones that we didn't alter. All right, so now let's put our modded folder with the mod file in, and this is our mod file. Okay, so let's just copy that, and let's go to the game's installation folder in the character folder. Remember, how you do that is go to Properties, Installed Files, Browse. Oh, we already had that window open. Okay, so you want to go back to Data, go to Char, or CHAR, and replace Ragna's file. Always make sure to save backups, okay? So in case like something goes wrong. Since we have our original file saved back in the GeoArcSys folder, we don't need to worry about that. So this is our modded file. We've replaced the script file. All right, so let's turn on the game and see what changed. Hey, Future Mango here. The game's volume is muted because originally it was way too loud and it was overpowering my voice for this last bit of voiceover for this section, so yeah, I'm just redoing it now in post. Basically all we're doing is just testing out the mod in-game through training mode. The only change we made was to Ragna's jump height, so if everything went over correctly, Ragna should just be jumping like 1,000 feet into the air, just like this. Ayo, there we go. See, the mod works. So there you go. That's how you set up BBTools, and that's how you use it and put your modded changes into the game. Alright, we're done with this section. Cool. Okay, so now we're going to be going over BBScript, the alternative and newer tool made for modifying ArcSys games script files, including BlazBlue Central Fiction. Right off the bat, I have to let you know, BBScript 1.0 doesn't work with Central Fiction right off the bat. We need to make some modifications to one of its files. It's very simple, it's just some text editing, but I'm going to be going over it with you. Or if you want to take the easy way, you can just download my copy of BBScript off of my Google Drive and just download that. And that'll have the fixed file plus some batch files for ease of use for parsing and rebuilding script files. Okay, but if you don't want to take the easy way and you want to learn how to do things yourself, just follow along. Okay, so first off, we're going to start with BBScript and download the 1.0 version. Okay, I'll just open that up and let's just put it in my script modding tutorial folder. Extract that, extract BBScript zip file, open that up, and then we're going to go inside the static_db folder. Inside of this are RON files, or .ron. These are text files that include instructions for BBScript that tell it how to parse and rebuild files and gives them like variables and whatnot. So let's open this up with our text editor. These are actually just text files, so nothing fancy, no hex code editing required. And okay, so what you do first is just delete all of this, press Control A and then backspace. We don't need any of this old code. We're going to completely replace everything. Okay, so now let's go to this link that I have in the description to get the newer updated text, because it's not included with the 1.0 download for some reason. All right, so it's going to click on the link in the description and it will take you to this page. So just press Control A, press Control C to copy all the text, and then go back to the bbcf.ron file, which we just made empty by backspacing, and then just press Ctrl V to paste all that text we copied from the website, and then save. All right, we've got our updated and bbcf.ron text, and it now should work with BlazBlue Central Fiction and not have any errors. Okay, so, but I have to let you know, ordinarily, you would have to use command line inputs to make it work, using this console. And that's just a huge pain in the ass and is very boring. So I'm going to make your life easier by doing a little bit of extra work at the start, but the time it will save you overall will be huge. So I'm going to teach you how to make bat files or batch files. Okay, so first of all, you're going to want to go to View and make sure you have file name extensions turned on. If you already have it turned on, good for you. Anyways, now you're going to want to create a text file. And let's just name it something like parse. And then make sure to change the extension name to .bat. If it says, like, file name extension, file might become unusable, just say yes. It's fine. It'll be fine. Okay, so this bat has no code in it. It's not going to do anything at first. So we're going to need to add some code to it by opening it with our choice of text editor. Okay, so now that we've got it here, you're going to want to take my batch code that I put in the description and simply paste it into here, into the batch file, the empty batch file, and just save it. So bbscript.exe, that's the executable we're using. Parse is the command we're telling it to use. BBCF indicates what kind of script file it's parsing. The F1 represents the file you're dragging into the batch file, and N1 represents the file you're gonna output, and from the input file, which is F1. Okay, that's simply how it works. Now let's create another text file or batch file. So let's name this one rebuild and change it to .bat at the end with the extension, and then put in the second set of code that I put in the description also. And similar logic, BBScript, tell it to rebuild, tell it we're doing a BBCF script file, and then input the file that you're rebuilding, and then it will produce a .bin file out of that text file. F1, you're going to be dragging text files into this rebuild batch to turn it back into a bin file. I'll go over in more detail later. Okay, so now that we've got that, we need to actually have files to parse and rebuild in the first place. So to do that, we're going to need Geo's tool, all-in-one tool. So just download that real quick. Copy that, put it into BBScript tutorial, paste it, extract, and then we're going to go into Geo's tool and then go into the batch folder. All right, and just remember this place because we're going to be going back to it later. We're going to be using the pack.bat file because that's the thing that will decompress the file type used by the game. All right, so how do you get to ArcSys, or how do you get to BlazBlue Central Fiction's game files? Well, first you have to go to Steam and go to your Steam library. And then you want to go to the gear icon, click on it, click on Properties, click on Installed Files, and then click on Browse. This will take you straight to the installation folder with all the files of the game. I have the BBCF improvement mod on, so if you don't have all these folders, that's fine. You're good. There's nothing wrong with your copy, presumably. Okay, so once you're inside the data folder, go inside the CHAR folder, or char, or short for character. And then we're going to look for a script file. Every script file ends with SCR at the end, and then .pack. So say we want to modify Hawkman's file, we'd go to char_ha, ha short for Hawkman, and underscore scr. scr meaning it's a script file. Okay, so we've decided that we're going to modify Hawkman's script file. So let's copy that, and then let's go back to the batch folder inside of GeoArcSys that we downloaded earlier, and let's just paste the pack file here. Now, in order to make it readable and usable and be able to edit it, we need to decompress this pack file because it's encrypted and compressed. So let's just drag that into the pack.bat file, drag and drop it. It'll say complete, successfully saved, and then it'll tell you what kind of files it pulled out. Just press any key to exit, and you're good. And we've got our bin files. These are the script files. So this is what we're going to change and put into BBScript. All right, so take this folder and then paste it into BBScript. Oh, right, we have it in the same folder. Okay, so go back to BBScript, paste this folder here, and pull out scr_ha.bin. We're not gonna go into ha.ea bin because the files that end in ea represent files that are explain how, like, how do I put this? They go over visual effects and tell them how, like, projectiles and non-attached to the body effects work stuff. So let's just take the scr_ha. This is where, like, most of the moveset stuff and animation stuff is in. And then put it in over the, drag and drop it over the parse.bat file. And if it works, it shall produce a text file with the same name as the bin file. Okay, so now we're going to open it up with our choice of text editor. And we're going to make a simple change. All right, so we've got Hawkman's file, and all right, so there's a lot of information here, but let's just do something simple, all right, for example tutorial's sake. I might go over, like, the actual process and workflow of making changes in BBScript with, like, the text files later, but for now I'm just going to teach you how to set it up and how to put modified script files back in. So let's make a simple change, like make Hawkman's 5A punch do like 1,000,000 damage, right? That should be simple. It should be very noticeable and very absurd. Okay, so let's look here. Normal attack 5A, and looky, a very clearly obvious variable name and value. Damage 300. Okay, so say we want to make it do like a stupid amount of damage instead of 300. Let's make it do something like 10,000. All right, that's ought to be a very noticeable change. And then we just exit out real quick. And then we're gonna, we don't need this, actually no, wait, I'll demonstrate anyway. So simply just drag that text file and put it back into the .bat file. And then it'll output a bin file. And as you'll see, this one has a new date modified time and stuff, because before it was a different one. I'll probably edit in like a picture or screenshot of what it was before, just to prove that like something was actually changed. And just to prove a point, it does output a new bin file in case you accidentally deleted the old one. And boom, see? If you put in a text file into the rebuild, it creates a bin file. All right, so we've got our modified script file in the bin, or in the binary file, scr_ha, and then put it back into the folder. See, it looks like just like the old one, except with our modified file. All right, so now we're going to take that folder with our modified bin file and put it in GeoArcSys and go into the batch folder, and then we're going to put it into the pack.bat to recompress it and re-encrypt it. However, before we do that, let's make sure we have a backup of our original unmodified script file. So let's just rename this to original, and then let's recompress our modified script file so then it doesn't override the original one, or at least our backup of the original one. Okay, so we've got our modified and newly made script file with the Hawkman 5A doing like a ton of damage. All right, so let's just copy that or cut it. Go back to the character folder that we went to earlier in the BlazBlue Central Fiction installation folder, and we'll just replace the unmodded version that we kept in here, and yeah, we'll have officially modded the game. But don't worry, in case like something went wrong, we always have our original right here. And then we could just rename it back to the original name, and then put it back, and boom, no harm done. But for now, let's just leave our modded file in and test it out. Okay, so let's go into training mode and play as Hawkman. And he should be doing like a stupid amount of damage with that 5A. And let's just test it out in simple training mode. Okay, moment of truth. How much damage does 5A do? It instantly kills him. Okay, well that proves it worked. Alright, well there you have it. That's how you set up BBScript. That's how you modify a text file and how you parse and rebuild the files and put them back into the game. Alright, that's it for this section. The examples of script modding I showed at the beginning of this video were just the tip of the iceberg, baby's work done with my elementary knowledge of the craft. If you want to see the actually cool stuff that can be done, keep watching. There's an art to script modding, and with a mix of perseverance, research, a little technical know-how, and imagination, you can accomplish amazing things. Check out the work of these modders. Oyashiro's Bullshit Ragna mod was made in the early pioneering days of script modding when resources hadn't been made yet. So even early on when not much was known, people like him were making cool new moves or porting over old moves in mods like this. They just had to brute force, experiment, and bullshit their way through the game's code to find out how everything worked back then, and they still produced some pretty awesome stuff. Oyashiro even wanted me to let you all know that he was drunk for most of the time he worked on this mod, so imagine what you can do today while sober and utilizing all of the knowledge and resources people such as him helped to establish. Link to the video shown here will be in the description, and if you go to that video's page, you should find a download link to the mod in that video's description. Modders like Oyashiro walked so we could run. If you need help from experienced modders like him, join the BlazBlue modding Discord. We've got resources, guides, mod download links, and people willing to help each other. We're all modders just trying to have a good time and seeing how far we can push the game's boundaries. I'll link the server invite in the description. Unlimited characters were a feature sorely missed in BlazBlue Central Fiction, but thanks to the efforts of Baroque, they were ported over to CF. This was no easy task, mind you. It wasn't a simple copy-paste job to make the code of past games compatible with the new one. This took a lot of time and effort. And that's not all, he even made unlimited versions of some of the new characters like Jubei. If you want to try out his unlimited character mods for yourself, the download link will be in the description. His work was vital for forming the baseline of Demon Seth 999 Superboss mods. Speaking of which, Demon Seth 999 has made a truly impressive collection of mods over the years, and his BBCF Superboss mods are by far his coolest in my opinion. Imagine the unlimited versions of characters in past BlazBlue games, but on friggin' steroids. The massive amount of work behind the scenes he must have done to script in new moves and reworked mechanics is mind-boggling. I mean, just look at the sequence of super moves he made for his recently released Unrivaled Lotus Jubei mod. This shit is awesome. If you want to see the game's mechanics, visuals, and engine pushed to the absolute limit, please check out Demon Seth 999's BBCF Superboss mods. They'll blow your socks off. Links to the videos shown here will be in the description alongside the full playlist of every Superboss mod showcase. In those videos, you can find in the description a download link to each mod. If you want to do something more reserved within the existing framework of BlazBlue's gameplay, you could work on a character redesign. A die-hard Tsubaki fan has created one such mod. In this project, the creator attempts to re-implement Tsubaki's original ABCD move system from the Continuum Shift series in an updated and fresh way, while maintaining balance within Central Fiction's cast. He has been constantly updating the mod as of the time this video has been uploaded. He has worked hard on this, and it shows. Please check out this mod if you're a Tsubaki fan, or if you want to see just how far passion for a single character can take you with modding. You can get updates and download the latest versions of his mod at his Discord server. The invite link will be in the description alongside a link to his YouTube channel. Here's a little bonus script mod for you. Did you know you could also alter or create your own fight cinematics? Yes, you could, for example, create your own matchup-specific intros if you wanted to. You know, the cool ones where they clash with each other for a little bit before the match starts, like the one between Ragna and Jin. I don't have a download link for this mod, unfortunately, just the video clip provided by the creator for demonstration purposes. I just wanted to show this to prove that you can do more than just moveset changes with script modding. Alright, that about covers everything you need to get started with script modding BlazBlue Central Fiction. You're still going to need to do a lot of your own research and experimentation to figure things out though. That's why I highly recommend joining the BlazBlue modding Discord server and asking for help there when you need guidance. The server invite link will be in the description. I might make smaller videos in the future that go over the specifics of script modding, like altering frame data, creating new moves, or adding new sound cues, but again, I make no promises. Anyways, good luck and happy modding.